Welcome back, our dear viewers. The high-level Norwegian delegation from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Norwegian Literature Promotion Abroad Authority, NORLA, recently inspected the pavilion at the Cairo International Book Fair to make sure it was ready for the arrival of Her Royal Highness Princess Marte. To shed more light about the Norwegian being the guest of honor of this edition of the Cairo Book Fair, we are very much delighted to have with us here in the studio Ms. Margit Walso, the director of NORLA, Norwegian Literature Abroad. Hello, and thank you so much for being our guest for today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. Is it your first visit to Egypt?
It's the second time, actually, because I was here 1 year ago to meet the director, Dr. Ahmed, at the book fair to plan the project for this year.
You did visit the book fair, as we have been talking before going on air. How did you see the book fair, this edition of the book fair, and what was your impression by seeing the different pavilion before talking about the Norwegian pavilion?
I'm very overwhelmed by the book fair and very impressed. For me, coming from Norway, to see a place where so many people gather around literature, 300,000 people every day coming into the book fair, having joy with books, using time there, being entertained. It's a really inspiring experience. And I must also say it's wonderful to see how the whole Arab publishing industry is gathering at the book fair. So it creates a really important meeting place for the book industry.
Yes, indeed. Can you tell us more about the most important literature work that you are participating with?
We are having a very interesting program with many authors, and we have been presenting, for instance, Hanne Ørstavik with her novel Love, and also we are presenting the works of Jon Fosse, the Nobel laureate, and we have an extensive program with children's literature at the book fair.
Norway is the guest of honor for this edition of the book fair. How do you see this event and the choice of Norway being the guest of honor for this year?
It's a very big opportunity for Norway to be the guest of honor here. I think that maybe before the most famous author from Norway was Henrik Ibsen. He actually visited Egypt in 1860s. So Egypt is also part of one of his plays, Per Gynt. But now with this opportunity, we can bring so many more authors to the light, to the Egyptian audience. Yes. So we hope to increase interest and to use the potential we experience, because we think that the Egyptian publishers have already been very interested in publishing Norwegian books.
Indeed. Indeed. Also, the pavilion is designed using wood engraved with the slogan in the exhibition, "The Dream We Carry." Can you tell us more about this slogan?
The slogan is from a very popular and much beloved poem by a Norwegian author, poet Ola H. Hauge, who wrote this poem, and it's been the most popular poem in Norway. The sentence, "The dream we carry," it's very suitable also as a slogan for us, because our dream is to bring interesting new voices, new literary experiences, so that the readers in Egypt can discover new things about Norway, and also go into topics they didn't read about before. So this is our dream, to create curiousness and new experiences.
Indeed. Norway is participating in more than 50 events at the exhibition organized by NORLA with the Children's Book Institute. Can you tell us about these events that would be organized through the days of the book fair?
We have a program every day in the Norwegian stand in B35 at the book fair. where everyone is welcome together. There is the authors, it's also children books presentations and other topics related to literature. And every day at between 4 and 6 we have a program in the Guest of Honor Hall. But in addition to this we will be having a lot of reading sessions in the children's area outside the book fair, and we will also have a concert today where a oud player will play to the poems of Jon Fosse. So it's something for everyone and every taste.
Indeed. Also, Miss Margit, can you tell us about the reproduction of the painting The Sunrise by Edvard Munch, which has been incorporated into the Guest of Honor stand together with other elements? Can you shed light about that?
Edvard Munch is also a world famous painter, very well known here in Egypt. So we wanted to include this painting in the Norwegian stand, so the audience could be attracted to come in and have a look, because it's something which is familiar, and we build on this. And the Munch Museum in Oslo is a partner in the project, so it's a possibility to learn about Munch by stepping in there and looking at books and films about Edvard Munch.
Can you tell us more about the Norwegian literature, and what is, from your point of view, is most distinctive in it?
It's laureate Jon Fosse. He's a very good example of Norwegian literature. He writes, for instance, in his book Morning and Night, an existential book about what is life through 2 days in a man's life, the day he's born and the day he dies.
Yes.
And through these days the whole life spans. So he uses poetical language, musical sentences, and it's an existential novel which everyone can relate to. And the other two books I would mention, Hanne Ørstavik, but also Vigdis Hjorth, is good examples of authors dealing with family structures, conflicts in families, what is love, and how to deal with these things. It's also a very popular topic in Norwegian literature.
Yes.
And in children's literature there can be found interesting topics, also a big variety. It's the children's books from Norway is characterized maybe by being brave and open to discuss topics that children are interested in.
Indeed. Also, Ms. Margit, can you shed light about the plans here that could be done in order to increase the level of cooperation on the cultural level between Egypt and Norway after also the book fair?
Yes, when we planned this project, we wanted it to be 2 ways. So we have already in the program at the book fair invited Egyptian authors to be on stage with the Norwegian authors to have an exchange. And this is something we hope to continue. So I hope that in the near future some of these authors will be translated and maybe be presented for a Norwegian audience in Norway. And we would like to continue an intense dialogue with the Egyptian publishers to increase contact and to present more interesting titles for them. And this is really something we will work long term on. And an important part of this project is to recruit more translators, because they are crucial to have the books translated in the first place. So this is something that we will invest in and motivate more people with knowledge in Arabic language and Norwegian to try to be working with translation. This is something that will be a long-term project.
Yes. Can you tell us more about Norla? You are the director of Norla, which is Norwegian literature abroad. Can you tell us about the activities and the main idea of trying to maybe spread the ideas and the knowledge of the Norwegian literature to as many countries as possible.
Yes, Norla is an organization funded almost 50 years ago,
Yes.
at a time where very little Norwegian literature were translated at all. So from the start it was very important to find translators, because Norwegian language is spoken by 5 million people in Norway.
Yeah.
There is important to support translation and to support the work to promote literature if we should have a chance in competition with all other languages in the world. So it's been a long-term work from that time to have more translators, and we now have a very big network of translators all over the world. So this is a very important part of what Norla does to motivate translators to become able to work with Norwegian language. We also support translations. When a foreign publisher would like to publish a Norwegian book, they can apply for financial support from Norla to have the translation covered. This is also very important. And we go to book fairs worldwide to present Norwegian titles. And we work also very closely with the foreign missions, the embassies all over the world, through our cooperation with the Foreign Ministry, which is very important.
Your cooperation is mainly with how many countries throughout the place, Ms. Margit?
Norwegian literature is translated into 80 languages.
80?
Yes. So we have a very broad network all over the world.
Yes. Can you tell us about your impression here about the Egyptian literature? What attracted you most, and if you are aware of the writers, who is the most interesting writer from your point of view that you might like to read for?
As we all know very much about Naguib Mahfouz, he's a very famous Egyptian author. I respect him very much, and I am very fond of his broad and very epic novels. He's a very important voice from Egypt. I also have a memory of a book I read in my youth by Nawal el-Saadawi, Firdaus.
Of course.
This was a book translated into Norwegian in the 80s. I read it then, and I was deeply moved by the book. It meant a lot to me, and it was a book that really focused on the rights of women. So I think it's been a very important book for readers all over the world, and still is.
Of course. As you have kindly mentioned here, one of the most influential writers for women, Nawal el-Saadawi. Are you into a book about women and the problems of women in particular as your interest here, Ms. Margit?
I really look forward to, after this book fair, know much more about the contemporary literary scene in Egypt, to know more about what kind of books are being written right now. So this is, of course, female authors is also very interesting, but the whole field of new voices should be presented in other countries, I think.
Do you have Egyptian literature presented in Norway, and did you plan to have more translated Egyptian work in the Norwegian language and to be displayed in your country?
This is something we hope will be the outcome of this project. Norla's duty is to work with Norwegian literature abroad. That is our task in a way. But through our cooperation with other partners at home, Norwegian publishers, literature houses, libraries, we can facilitate also many meeting places for Egyptian authors and book industry in Norway. And this is something we will continue when we come home from the book fair in Cairo.
I hope so. Also, the pavilion was inaugurated by Her Royal Highness, the Princess Mette-Marit, if I'm mentioning the name right. What's the significance of this high participation by Norway in that book fair, and to what extent that is reflecting the relations between the two countries here?
I think it's a very clear sign that Norway is really feeling it's important to have the position as the guest of honor here. We are very far from each other, but we share also a lot of interests and perspectives. So for Norway, to underline that the invitation to become the guest of honor at the book fair is something we really would like to greet and to use in the time to come. And therefore it was very important to that also Her Royal Highness the Crown Princess attended, because she is our ambassador for Norwegian literature abroad. And she does a great effort to help with presenting Norwegian literature abroad through her activities. And she very much enjoyed her visit at the bookstore and the book fair. So I think this was a good way of cooperating.
Of course. Miss Margit, it's just your second visit to Egypt. Can you give us your impression here about the country? What attracted you more in Egypt in general, not only in the book fair?
I'm very attracted to the whole, to the rich level of culture in Egypt, which I can feel everywhere, and a very advanced culture, also based on a very long history, which for us from Norway is something deeply interesting. And my impression of from the audience and the people we have met have been fantastic. We have been met with so much interest and warmth and enthusiasm, and also curiosity about how is Norway and how is it there, and how are your literature. So I'm very, very happy to be able to get to know Egypt more through this project.
Yes. Miss Margit, did you visit any places here in Egypt during your stay, or you didn't have the time?
It's been a busy book fair so far, but I've had the time to visit Old Cairo to see the bazaar and the fascinating life going on there.
Yes.
I visited the pyramids and the Sphinx and saw the new National Museum.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes, good that you did enjoy your time. You only visited Cairo, you didn't visit Aswan or Luxor or any other places in Egypt?
Not yet, but I will certainly come back and bring my family and take the whole trip, so to see everything. That's for sure.
Yes. And did you eat any traditional Egyptian food so far, Miss Margit?
I've had meze and a lot of wonderful dishes. I like the cuisine from Egypt very much, so this is an important part of the coming here as well.
Yes. So what's your advice here, or what tips you would be given to your organization and your people about Egypt and about the cultural life in Egypt, and your tips that if someone wants to visit Egypt, what would be your tips here, Ms. Margit?
I think it's important to, if you would like to work professionally, getting in touch with the publishing industry it's very important to know the publishers and to build long-term relations with them, and know what they are, as much as possible about what they are interested in and what could be of interest for them to publish. And of course enjoying Cairo and take it from that as a good starting point for everyone who wants to visit the city.
Yes. What's your activities throughout the coming days in the book fair, Ms. Margit, as the book fair is continuing till the 6th of February?
Yes.
You are attending the exhibitions, the activities taking place in the book fair, or can you tell us more about that? And what are the most important events from your point of view that you would like to attend?
I think for me, working with literature in Norway, just to see the whole variety in the Arab publishing, and to get as much impressions from going around to see the different publishers and the books at the stands. It's very important as a knowledge to bring back. And today we will have a whole day in our program dedicated to Jon Fosse, the Nobel laureate. I very much look forward to that. Yes. And then from tomorrow and onwards, the program for Norway will be very much concentrating of giving great experiences to children and young adults at the book fair through the program planned by the Norwegian Children's Book Institute.
Indeed, Ms. Margit Walso, Director, Norlawa, Norwegian Literature Abroad. Thank you so much for being with us today, and best of luck, and we hope that you would enjoy your stay here in Egypt. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Our dear viewers, now we'll go to a short break, and after that we'll be back to resume our segments in the breakfast show, so stay tuned.